Welcome. Today's session is all about ward off right and ward off left. We're going to learn about the different ward off movements, and then we're going to combine this into a little bit of different footwork to practice on both sides. So let's get started. So what is ward off? We always see ward off as up and down together, no matter which side it's on. But the warding off is actually connecting up to our opponent. So we can ward off this way. Single whip, we see warding off this way, more standing, right? We do that windshield wiper and we press, standing ward off. We also have ward off up. White crane spreads its wings. So we have ward off in a bunch of different ways, but in grasping the bird's tail, we want to focus on this up and down together, okay? So first and foremost, how are we feeling about our hinging up? This should be our priority, okay? Our priority is this movement of up and down, and you can do it with both arms, right? We're going to do both arms so that we feel comfortable. This is warding off, ward off. But then we could switch it, right, and ward off overhead. So it's exactly the same thing. It's warding off, but then we continue and rotate our palm facing out, right? And you can do this with both arms. In the 13 form, we only see it with the right arm for white crane, but in the long form, we have it in both sides, okay? Ward off, the main techniques we see ward off right. In the traditional long form, even in other of the short forms, we see ward off left, which looks a little bit different, but again, has that upward connection. Single whip. We see it in white crane, but in the long form, we have things like fair lady work shuttles on both sides. Okay, so we just want to understand kind of like the basic concept of what is ward off. What does ward off mean? And it's that connecting to our opponent, because even here, this is warding off. This is connecting to our opponent, and then we're grabbing and we're using ward off right. Okay, so first thing is just learning this. Okay, learning, and what's most important when we do this? Wrist in line, right? We don't ever want to have that kink in our wrist, because then energy is going to stop right here, okay? So this is important in our practice in every direction. Even when we start any sort of movements, we want to make sure that we have wrist in line and we're not like, something along that line. Even here, we're not like it's energized that little bit. It's not like limp in any way. So just being aware of this movement, okay? So how can we practice ward off right on both sides, okay? So I'm going to mirror you, so then we'll start on the side that we know first and foremost. So from just our kind of neutral position, remember, it includes that little bit of waist turning. So we're not going to stay static. We're going to turn from side to side a little bit, okay? Ward off is always going to end up with a little bit of opening to our waist, even if we're looking ahead, okay? We start, we're going to bring that left arm out in front and the right arm comes underneath. Now, when we're here, armpits are open, so we don't ever want to close, and we want to make sure we're reaching out. So we're not going to be in. You might not be here for martial arts, but knowing that this is connecting to someone out far is going to help, because now we understand why we're here instead of here, because when we do our movement, we get this up and down. So in the final position, fingertips should point to your forearm center. Okay, we have about 1 fist distance, because we would be grabbing someone's wrist and controlling their elbow on the forearm. So it's very important when we do any movement, we're doing up and down together. And we're going to pass over this forearm. So we're not going to go here and just try to do this. And we're not going to just try to do this, okay? What gives us our power with small movements is combining everything together. So we can simply start here and just go up and down. And in the final position, really try to be aware that your elbow and shoulder sinks down. Our torso is open to that corner direction and your armpits are open. And we look where the action is happening. So we can simply just reverse it and we can practice up and down. And we inhale and we reach out and we exhale and we press down. So right now with one simple movement, we can combine our breath with our practice. But when we're doing a lot of movements, we're just going to let our breath flow. But if we were ever using it as a martial art, we would use our exhale for that release of energy. So here, up and down. Now, if we reverse it, we could just come back and let the arms come down. Okay. Now we're going to do the other side. The other side is not going to feel as natural unless you've worked on just the specific exercise. So now, right arm comes on top, left arm's underneath. Remember, nice bend through that arm, no kink in the wrist. And again, it's what? It's hinging up and down. And when we do this, we pass over the forearm. So we want to make sure, again, open. So not turning from the hips, turning from your torso, and then elbow and shoulder sink down. So relax it back, and then up and down. So when we do this movement, it's not going to feel as good on one side as the other. Okay? So we have one side that feels really good because we practice it all the time. And we have the other side that's going to need a little bit more thought. But this is why Tai Chi is so special, because it's always going to challenge us. So inhaling, exhale, up and down. Okay? Inhale, exhale, up and down. Okay. Now, again, we can release and we can circle that top arm out and then down. When we want a way to practice both sides of ward off right, and then we say ward off left, even though it looks a little bit different in the long form, we're going to use these circles. So we're going to move really slowly, and I want to show you how you can go from one side to the other, knowing that in the form we do practice it with just the right arm being up, okay? So we're going to start on that natural side. We're going to bring that left arm on top, right arm underneath. We're going to go up and down. Now we're going to reverse it. And we're going to make these big circles. So big circles. And then we're going to close by bending the left arm underneath, that right arm's out, and then we go up and down. Notice here too, your waist goes back to straight. We open. We're closing the arms, and we're going to have that turn now to the left side. Then we reverse. We try to move nice and slow. Here it's like a semicircle. Like you have like big semicircle of arms. And then we're going to close. And we're going to make sure we hit that position with the arm bent underneath, reaching out, and we go up and down. Then we're going to reverse it. And we're going to open up the arms. And we're going to close, bringing that right arm underneath. This should feel more natural now. And then up and down. Reverse. Check on your breathing. We're challenging the mind, but we still want to make sure we're breathing. Close. Up and down. Let's do one more round, both sides. Open. Then we say close, and usually we step. Then weight moves forward, up and down together. Then one more. Reverse. close, up, and down. Reverse it, and then just let yourself drop down. What are we doing for the footwork for this movement? The footwork is our basic bow stance. That's all it is, but it's a different transition than we see in any form because we're going to keep stepping back to where we started from. So we shift and we turn and we open up, say, the right toes. And we sink down, making sure knees in line, waist is turned, step out. Heel, ball, toe, bend, knee. Now we're going to shift back, and instead of stepping with our foot straight, we're going to step open. And as soon as we start pouring that weight in, we're going to pick up that other heel. So then we can step out. So one of the hard things about this is when you're back for a split second, you step and both feet are to the corner and you have to relax. Then you can step out for your bow stance again. Then we shift back and you step, and now your torso's to straight, and as you turn, you're going to relax that foot and then step out. So we have to learn how to keep our knees in alignment as we step here for that split second. So then we can have the best energy flow possible. So it's shifting back, step, and immediately relax that right foot. Then step out for your bow stance. Remembering what? Our bow stance is on two lines. So if we look down and we turned on our heel, you very clearly have two lines. Then turn back. Shift, pick up, step, turn. So you can even do the arms if you'd like. Move forward. Shift. Remember, ward off right stays open. When we're center, we're center. We turn, step out, move forward. Shift back, pick up, step, turn, step out. Don't close the waist, keep it open. So shift back. Remember, we're keeping that gaze where? Ahead, where the action is happening. So even as maybe our torso is turning, we're switching our footwork, our gaze is staying level at the horizon. We step, we turn, and we move forward. Okay. Step back, step to straight, shift, and relax. Okay. So the footwork probably feels a lot different than anything else we've ever done because we're stepping back instead of stepping forward. Most of our footwork is stepping forward, right? All right, let's put it all together. So legs, waist, arms, gaze. Okay, so start from that shoulders width apart stance. Okay, we'll start on your normal side. Okay, so we'll shift to the right and we'll turn and open that left foot. As we sink down, what happens? We close and we step. Then weight moving forward is up and down together. Remember, final position, elbow and knee are in line. Torso's open, elbow and shoulder are sinking down, fingertips point to your center of your forearm. Now we're going to reverse it. So as we shift back, you're going to reverse the arms. As you step in, you'll open, step. Then we're going to shift. We're going to close and step. Then up and down go together. Again, check elbow and knee in line, torso's open, relaxing the upper body. Then reverse, picking up, step in, shift, close, and we say step. So now it's heel, ball, toe, bend, knee. Your foot is connected. Up and down together. So try to make everything arrive together. So we're shifting back, we're reversing it. Then we're going to open and we'll step in our halfway point. Then we're shifting to that right foot. We're going to close and step. So we're ready. Then legs, waist, arms, everything arrives together. Reverse, open, step, close, step out. Then up and down go together. So reverse, open, step, close, step out, up and down. Reverse, step in, close, step out, up and down. So again, we could reverse and we could end here. Stepping in and relax. Pretty cool, right? Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed today's session. I hope you're finding value in this content. If you are, make sure to click that like button. Subscribe to my channel so you can be the first to know about all the new videos. And maybe hop on over to my website and subscribe to the newsletter too. Lots of great new things coming in this new year. So I hope you'll stick with me. And remember, 5 minutes a day is going to go a long way to make you feel your best. Thanks so much for being here. I hope to see you again soon.